Rachel, and I am going to show you how to make this hat. I made it to go with my sweater so I could look like a mushroom from head to toe. You can find a free written pattern of this hat on Ravelry, and there is a paid for pattern for the sweater, and look out for a written pattern of these mittens too. Make sure you watch till the end of the video as well, because I included photos that my testing team sent me of their finished Amanita hats, and they are fabulous, and it will give you some ideas of colours and materials you can use. There's also a lookbook that's free to download on Ravelry, which will give you more information about the materials that they used. It's a made to measure pattern, so you can use whatever yarn you like. I recommend it Aran or worsted weight 4, or like a bulky weight. Thank you so much to my bestie Emma, who sent me this gorgeous stitch marker to use in this video. This is from the Cat's Whiskers Crochet. This is what I'm using to make the Amanita hat. I've got yarn in 3 different colours to make the ribbing. The ribbing can be one colour or as many colours as you like. I've got this lovely red for the main body of the hat, and this creamy white for the bubbles and puffs. All of this yarn is King Cole Fashion Aran. You can use any weight of yarn you like. I've used bulky a lot as well, and that was very quick. I've got a 4.5mm hook for the ribbing and a 5mm hook for the main body of the hat. You will need a needle, you will need stitch markers, and you will need a pom-pom. And these pom-poms come with an elastic tab on the bottom, so you will want a pom-pom holder or just any old button to put on the inside of your hat to keep your pom-pom in place. And you will need some scissors. If you are going to do bulky weight, I recommend a 5.5 for the ribbing and a 6mm for the main body of the hat. I'm starting with the ribbing of the hat with my 4.5mm hook. I'm going to start with this colour, so I'll move those out of the way, and we are working on this part of the hat, and we're working along like this. So I am making a chain of 15, and I use chain of 15 for both the bulky weight and the Aran weight hat, and it still gives me enough to fold it over like that when I wear it. Make a slip knot. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 1 extra chain for turning. And now we are going to work back down our chain, making single crochets into each chain until we have 15. We're gonna chain 1 and we're gonna work back down, but only through that back loop. chain 1, turn, and work back up the back loop. Work back up the chain in the back loop. In this last stitch, I am going to start it and stop at this point and grab the next colour I want to use. If I can find the start of it, there we are. And I'm going to tie it in place. And finish that stitch off with a new colour. Chain 1, work back down the chain in the back loop, so it's all the same, but just check with a different colour. I think at the top of here I actually want to switch back to the other colour, the first colour. So I'm gonna finish that off with that. And work back down, chain 1, and working back loop down the chain. Last stitch, and I think I'm going to put my darker colour in now. So we'll tie that on there. And finish off the stitch. And then we're going to carry the other yarn along behind, so we're gonna make a chain over it, and at the end of the ribbing, this will be the top of our row, and we will be picking up stitches that will go over all these parts and hide them. So I'm going to finish that off with my colour 1, which is this one. Trap your other 2 yarns behind your chain 1, ready for the next row. So this is what we've got so far. We've got some nice ribbing ridges appearing, and we're just going to carry on going until it fits around our head. I finished making the ribbing for the hat, and I stopped at the point where there was a little bit of a gap when I put it around my head, but if I pull it, it's gonna fit me well, and it's probably gonna loosen up a little bit as well, so it might be a little bit slouchy when I've worn it a few times. So I'm stopping the ribbing now, and I'm gonna show you how to join it together. This is my ribbing once I finished it. I've got all the mess at the top, all the carried yarn and all the ends at the top. Now I'm going to do one final row down to the bottom, and then I will join both sides together. So I've got my 4.5mm hook, and make a row, the final row going to the bottom of the work. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm just going to cut off those other yarns for now. And pull away. I'm going to fold these 2 together, right sides together. I'm going to join the 2 ends of the ribbing together through the back loop of the starting chain and the back loop of the ribbing on the other side. And I'm just going to slip stitch them together all the way up. At the top I'm going to chain 1 and then turn the ribbing right around. I'll just show you what it looks like when it's together. It's a bit of an obvious join, but I kind of like to know where the back of my hat is. Right, now we're going to pick up stitches all along this top edge, and we're gonna stick with the same colour that we've just finished with. Right, we are going to pick single crochet stitches up all along the top edge, and we are going to do it by picking up 2 stitches in one valley and then 3 stitches in another valley between the ribbing. We're just going to go 2, 3, 2, 3, but we will need a final stitch count of that's a multiple of 3. So we might have to add or remove a few stitches towards the end. Alright, so I'm going to go for my first stitch just at the top of this row of single crochet here. I think I might ignore these bits for now and not bother hiding them yet. So 1, and then I'm gonna, for my second stitch, put it here, 2, and we're still We're still using the 4.5, the ribbing hook at the moment. I'm gonna put one here, put one in the middle here, 2, 3, I'm just going to do this all the way around, switching between doing 2 and 3. I found when I was making the Amanita sweater that this was the perfect sort of amount of stitches to pick up, that it didn't make too many V-stitches in the end. I found if I picked 2 stitches up in between each valley of the ribbing, that it made the final sweater too tight, and if I picked up 3, it made the top of the sweater too loose. So this was the perfect medium, and I just decided to keep that for the hat as well, although it probably wouldn't matter so much with the hat. Just show you the back, you can see that it's hiding all of these funny bits and making it look a lot neater. Alright, I've gone all the way around, switching between making 3 or making 2 single crochet stitches between the ribbing, and I've got 111 stitches, so I've got a multiple of 3, and I'm going to join slip stitch to the first stitch, and then I'm going to switch out my 4.5 and pick up my 5mm instead. And now we are going to start doing the wattle stitch, which is what makes up the main body of the hat. So we're going to chain 1, and in that first stitch we are going to single crochet once, chain 1, double crochet, and then we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. So we're going to do the same thing again. So we're single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and we're going to do this all the way around. Skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. I've gone all the way around now, and I'm back at, well, I'm right at the end, so I'm just going to do one last wattle V stitch, skip 2, and then join to the very first single crochet, so. Chain one and turn to the wrong side, and we're going to do exactly the same thing again, but on the wrong side. We can't keep going round and round, because otherwise we'd have a very lopsided hat with single crochets all on one side and double crochets all on the other. So we're going to turn round, we've chain one, and now we are going to, instead of going into single crochets, we're going to go into the chain one space of our wattle stitches, and we're going to single crochet, chain one, double crochet. I find the chain, there we are, single crochet, chain one, double crochet. There's a gap, single crochet, chain one, double crochet, all the way around in every V-stitch. So I'll just show you a second. We're not going into these spaces, we're going into this chain one gap. And we're just going to do that all the way around, and then on the next row I think we're going to change colour, and we're going to start using the red yarn. So I will go all the way around and I will meet you back at the other side. Last two wattle V stitches, 1 and 2, and we're gonna insert our hook into that first single crochet of the row and finish off with our new colour. Oops, we kind of want that to be on the inside. There we are. And I'm going to snip off the grey. And we're going to chain one and turn. And we're going to repeat the last two rows in the red. So single crochet, chain one, double crochet in the center chain space of each of those V stitches. Right, I've completed 2 red rows, and I did them in exactly the same way as I did the 2 grey rows, and I've joined, slip stitched to the first single crochet, and I've chained one ready to start my next round, my next row. And now I'm going to introduce my bobble yarn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the single crochet, the first single crochet. I'm not going to finish it yet. I'm just going to bring the white yarn up and I'm going to crochet around it. So this is right from the start. I've got my bobble yarn in place. I'm crocheting around it. So I want to do my V stitches again. I've got single crochet, chain one, double crochet, and I'm just keeping that white yarn in place so I can use it to make a bobble when I want to. So I'm going to go along a little bit. Oops, let's get some loose yarn. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my first, I'm going to do a puff stitch first. I'm going to go in as if to make that single crochet. I'm going to finish it off with the white, and I'm going to yarn over my hook, go in, yarn over, and I think I'm going to do it till I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on there. I'm gonna go back to the red yarn, pull it through, and then I'm going to make my double crochet. So when we're adding a puff or a bubble, we are going to do a single crochet, and then our puff or bubble, and then double crochet. So I'll go along a few more, making those same single crochet, chain one, double crochets, and doing them over the top of the red, over the top of the white. And here I'm going to make a bobble, so I'm half making a single crochet, finishing it off with the white, and then I'm going to do half a double crochet, and I'm going to do a few of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do another one. 6. I've got 7 loops on my hook. I'm going to drop the white, pick up the red, go through, make a double crochet, and then we've got our first puff and our first bobble, and you can put them wherever you like, and you can put as many or as few as you like in. Also remember to pull your white yarn through whilst you're working over it, because you can end up with some loose parts, like this bit's a bit looser than I would have liked. The other thing is that you will be able to see your carried yarn through, but I quite like the look of that. Oops. So every few stitches give your white yarn a tiny bit of a tug to check that you haven't got any loose bits on the back. I might add another bobble here. Up the red, pull through, double, whoops, that's a half double crochet, double crochet, and we're going to go all along, adding puffs and bobbles randomly. And then on the next row, we are not going to carry, on our wrong side row after this one, we are not going to carry our white yarn along. So I'm back at the beginning again after doing all those bobbles and puffs all the way around. I've chained one, I'm turning, and now I'm going to work my wattle stitches on the wrong side into those chain one spaces, apart from when I get to my bowl and puff, and I'm going to work the wattle stitch into that white stitch at the top of my bobbles. And notice I'm not taking the bobble yarn with me on the wrong side, but we are going to pick it up again on the next row, on the next right side row. So I'm just going to go all the way around, doing my wattle stitches, going into the top of the bobble or puff stitch when there isn't a chain space. And I'm going to carry on the rest of the hat doing those two rows, a bobble and puff row and a normal row. I've done some more work on my hat. I've, as you can see, done a few more rows to it, and it's now at the point where I can hold it together at the top. And now I'm going to start some decrease rows so we can close up this big gap and make it into a hat. And I'll put the stitch marker on and I will show you how I did all the bobbles and puff stitches. So I've just gone along, I've left empty spaces, I've done them randomly. And how many rows have I done? So red rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows in total. And 18 rows of wattle stitch with the grey. First things first, we are gonna take this, snip this off, because we don't need to make bobbles anymore. And then we are going to chain up 3, and we're going to make a chain 1 space. We are going to make a double crochet into the chain 1 space of every stitch. And this means we'll be decreasing 2 stitches for every double crochet that we make. And we're just going to go all the way around, making double crochets in that chain 1 space of the wattle stitch. Now we're back at the start again, and we will ignore that chain 3 and join that to that first double crochet. That's our first row. You can see it's starting to close up and gather together. We're going to do one more row of decreasing. This is still on the right side of the hat. We're going to chain up 3 and we are going to double crochet 2 together the whole way around the hat. So you want to make a double crochet, yarn over, half make another double crochet, and then finish them all off together. At the beginning of the row again, ignore the chain 3 and join on to the first double crochet 2 together, and the hole is now small enough that we will be able to cut a piece of our yarn and sew in and out all the way around and cinch it together. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to cut about 40 centimeters. It's probably too much, but I'm going to cut a length of yarn like that. And I'm going to fasten this off and get out my sewing needle. I'm going to thread my yarn and I'm just going to go in and out of the stitches here. Beginning of the row again, I'm going to pull that tight and pull my yarn through to the other side. I'm now on the inside of my hat and I'm going to go in and out of these stitches just to secure to my yarn. Make it a bit tighter, and now I'm going to sew my button if it will fit. My needle will fit. Oh, perfect. I'm just going to sew my button to the top here and go through a few stitches because anything that's on the top is going to be hidden by my pom-pom. I'm going to go in and out a few times to secure it, and then I'll tie it off, tie the yarn off and weave in the ends. I'm just going to make a little knot here, and then I'm going to leave that end to weave in. Right, I'm going to find the centre of my hat, which I think is here, put the crochet hook through, grab my pom-pom, get that little bit of elastic, pull it through, and won't get caught up, and just wrap it around that button, and then I've got a pom-pom. My finished hat, complete with pom-pom.